I extracted him from the prison against his own wishes because I required a worthy opponent as part of my training to become Sorcerer Supreme. I must depart.
Welcome back to ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy. Way back in 2016, we all gave Mordo crap for being such a magic nerd. Don't break the rules, don't mess with reality, we all have to follow the magic laws, the bill comes due. Nerd! Relax, Mordo. Live a little. Sometimes you gotta break some rules. But after everything that went down in Phase 4, I think Mordo deserves our apology. He was so right about everything. Just look at what happened in these last couple years. The Westview incident, the Scarlet Witch, the memory spell, the darkhold, and the latest episode of She-Hulk proves Mordo's point even further. Wong, our new Sorcerer Supreme, decided to prison break a dangerous criminal and fight him in an underground cage fight. Now sure, in the grand scale of things, what Wong did is mostly small potatoes compared to the laws of reality being broken by like everyone else. But you see, what Wong did, that's the root cause of the problem, the very thing that Mordo warned us about.
You still think there will be no consequences, Strange? No price to pay?
Big or small, it's about the mindset. The same mindset is what led to Steven casting that memory spell that nearly ended reality. These powerful magic users who are supposedly heroes don't care about the rules or their consequences, and yet everyone else must keep paying for their mistakes. So the court is in session. It's time to present to you all the evidence that proves that Mordo is right and why the bill comes due.
We broke our rules. The bill comes due. Always a reckoning.
Last year, we saw Wong fighting the Abomination in a cage fight. None of us really understood why Wong was having underground fight clubs, but it was a fun cameo. But now we know what that was all about. As Wong explained,
I extracted him from the prison against his own wishes because I required a worthy opponent as part of my training to become Sorcerer Supreme.
So, Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, the main magic guy who protects reality, he decided that he needed a worthy opponent for his training. Okay, that tracks, mostly. I mean, by this point, it's been like 6 years or more since the snap, meaning that Wong was acting as Sorcerer Supreme all of these years since Steven was dusted. So by now, he should be pretty well trained.
Wait, I thought you were the Sorcerer Supreme.
No, he got it on a technicality because I blipped for 5 years.
Oh.
Anyway, Wong decided that from all the super powerful people that he knows, and he knows a lot of super powerful people, the only person he needs for his training is a dangerous, convicted, super criminal who is held in a highly secured prison. And instead of, asking for permission, he just opened a portal to Blonsky's cell, prison breaked him against his wishes, and forced him into a cage fight.
I was forced to leave my cell.
Who forced you to escape this insanely high security prison undetected?
A sorcerer supreme of the mystic arts.
Wong had to know that if anyone finds out about Blonsky's cage fighting, that it would be very bad for him, considering that he's supposed to be locked up in a cell. Wong isn't from some far-off ancient land, he's from Earth. He listens to Beyonce and he likes flavored ice cream.
A hunk of Hulk-burning fudge is our favorite.
So he knows the basic concept of the legal system. Based on his reaction, the legal ramifications for his actions are unreasonable. He thinks that he can just explain himself and that his reasoning and position is sufficient in clearing himself and Blonsky from any wrongdoing.
And as Sorcerer Supreme, I insist that he not be punished for my actions.
But this isn't a case where he had no choice in breaking the rules. This wasn't some world-ending event. This was a simple decision made by him. I'm not saying Wong is a bad guy. He made a dumb mistake and stuff happens.
Sometimes shit happens, someone has to deal with it, and who are you gonna call?
The problem here is this out-of-touch mindset that he, Steven, and some other heroes have developed in recent years. This idea that the rules don't apply to them like they do to regular people. It's not a mindset that is rooted in anything malicious. It's arrogance and entitlement. Wong doesn't think about the consequences because he believes that his actions are reasonably justified. And we all know what a dangerous, slippery slope that mindset can be.
I'm the only one who knows that.
In Wong's mind, he shouldn't face any legal ramifications for his actions because he's the Sorcerer Supreme. He thinks that what he did was for the betterment of the world. And to be better at his job, he needs to train against the meanest and the strongest threats.
Gods don't have to choose. We take.
And then there's this.
We'll send him to the mirror dimension.
I don't know what that is, but no.
Shadow dimension?
Whoa there, Wong. That's seriously messed up, buddy. This is his solution? He sprang Blonsky from prison, and now that he got caught, he just wants to swipe it under the rug and banish Blonsky to the Phantom Zone? Unless he was talking about sending the parole hearing board to another dimension. Either way, Wong is wrong.
Sent him off to the Phantom Zone, didn't you? He left us no choice. Passing judgment like gods, with our superpowered army and our orbiting death ray.
And when Wong admitted to the crime, what did he do when he was confronted? Instead of staying and facing the consequences for his actions, Wong ran. Once again, abusing his power, opening a portal and escaping the ramifications. I mean, Wong literally ends his first conversation with Jennifer by saying,
Very well, we'll reserve sorcery for strategy B.
Wong, as well as Steven, also allowed themselves to justify making such reckless decisions because they believe that if anything goes terribly wrong, they can just fix it with magic, because that's basically what's happened in the past, which is exactly what Mordo was talking about. Sorcery is a great gift. It's an amazing power, but as we've seen, it's also extremely dangerous in the wrong hands. No matter how many times you save the world, you can break it with just one bad spell. You can cause two universes to collide with one another by dreamwalking. You can wipe out the whole world's memories. You can control time. You can open a tiny little portal to a black hole and suck up the whole world by accident.
Power has a purpose.
I'm pretty sure that on some level, Mordo agrees that Steven was in the right for using the Time Stone to defeat Dormammu. Now yes, there is a chance that things could go wrong when using the Time Stone, but it's a certainty that if Steven didn't use it, Dormammu would have destroyed the world. The Ancient One had to draw power from the Dark Dimension to protect the world better. Steven had to use the Time Stone to stop Dormammu and Thanos. Stuff like this creates the mindset that the ends always justify the means.
Come on, it's not permanent.
Like he'll stop in a few minutes?
About 3 weeks.
And as long as you're the hero and your intentions are ultimately good, then any means can be justified. This is the exact same arrogance and entitlement that allowed Steven to justify the memory spell.
That spell travels the dark borders between known and unknown reality. It's too dangerous.
We've used it for a lot less.
Remember, Steven was wrong about the spell, and so was Spider-Man. Steven decided to help out his pal Peter, and that help was a memory spell that would wipe out the memories of billions of people. Now, let's not get into how morally wrong this is, because I think we can all agree that brainwashing the world just so Peter can go to college is just wrong. There is no logical justification here.
Oh, I know what you're thinking, Miss Walters. And I'm not erasing everyone's memories, not again.
That's not what I was thinking. That is highly unethical.
Steven's arrogance and careless misuse of magic caused a serious multiversal incident. It resulted in needless death and pain. Just like Mordo said, the bill came due, and oh, it came due big time.
You still think there will be no consequences, Strange? No price to pay.
Steven didn't need to cast the memory spell, same as Wong didn't need to break Blonsky from prison just for his training. In both cases, there were so many better and more reasonable alternatives. I mean, they must be able to use their brain nuggets better and not abuse their power. They are the heroes after all. I mean, they're the protectors of reality. And in both of these cases, the risk wasn't even worth it. I mean, not even close. So when you look at how carelessly Wong and Steven used their magic, can you really blame Mordo for being so strict? And we keep seeing this arrogant belief from Steven in other universes. Strange Supreme abused the power of the Time Stone because he couldn't live without Christine. He was warned that he could not break an absolute point in time, and yet he decided to break the natural law. He turned to dark magic, absorbing other beings and becoming a monster himself. He even killed his past self. He broke the absolute point in time, and in doing so destroyed the whole universe.
Temporal manipulations can create branches in time, unstable dimensional openings, spatial paradoxes, time loops.
Illuminati Strange was obsessed with stopping Thanos. This led him to the darkhold. He dreamwalked and caused an incursion, destroying an entire universe. He knew the ramifications of dark magic, but he believed that he could control its power, arrogant in his conviction that stopping Thanos was worth the risk. Sinister Strange's reasons for breaking the natural law were his unhappiness. Like Strange Supreme, he saw Christine as a source for happiness in his life. So he dreamwalked with the Darkhold and killed his variants in other universes. And all of that exacted a heavy toll both on himself and his universe. 3 Stevens who were too arrogant and careless to think about their consequences, and their entire universes paid the bill in the worst way possible. And now, our Steven has messed with the Darkhold, and he too has caused an incursion.
Dreamwalking, you hypocrite!
Yes, Steven had to dreamwalk to stop the Scarlet Witch, but the natural law doesn't care for the reason you did it, noble as they may be. The law is the law, and when breaking that law, you have to pay the price.
You betray the law!
And the price is 2 universes being at risk of being destroyed, and a sinister third eye at the center of Stephen's forehead.
The bill comes due. Always.
And then there's Mordo's final point. Mordo believes that the world needs far less magic wielders in it.
Because I see at long last what's wrong with the world. Too many sorcerers.
Okay, I admit, this is like too fascist for my taste. Mordo is a villain, let's not forget that. But he might not be that wrong here. Now, I'm not saying that anyone with magic needs to be put in a cage or killed or anything like that, but someone needs to oversee all of these sorcerers, witches, and everyone else who has access to magic. After all, what if someone with bad intentions decides to cast that memory spell? If the spell goes right, that's bad. And if the spell goes wrong, that's even worse. And it's not like there's magic police to oversee these things. Wong and Stephen are that authority, but they are exactly the very people who keep abusing their power and positions.
We need to be put in check. If we can't accept limitations, we're boundaryless, we're no better than the bad guys.
Agatha was in possession of the darkhold for years, maybe decades. How much dark magic did she use? How much of it did she unleash on the world? No one stood in her way, not even the Ancient One. It took Wanda messing with reality to finally stop her. And that led to Wanda getting the darkhold, she was corrupted, and went all evil Scarlet Witch. Remember, dreamwalking is one of the ways to trigger an incursion, and Wanda dreamwalked a lot. Not to mention all the natural laws she broke and all the people she had killed. But neither Wong nor Stephen did anything about Wanda up until it was way too late. Stephen did not intervene in the Westview incident. At the very least, he must have felt Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch, but he never bothered doing anything about it. And now people are just magically becoming wizards.
I'm magic now.
Yeah, no, he's right. Yeah, he can.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, really?
Dude, I got Doctor Strange magic. Yeah.
So maybe some of what Mordo is saying makes sense from a certain point of view. Someone needs to make sure that those who have access to magic won't abuse it. You know, someone like the Sorcerer Supreme. The responsibility of the Sorcerer Supreme isn't just to protect reality, it's also to set an example. Wong and Stephen are the leaders of the Masters of the Mystic Arts. So what kinds of messages are they sending to their fellow mystics? That it's okay to misuse magic as long as nobody goes too far with it? And if you go too far with it and accidentally threaten all of reality, there's no punishment as long as you fix it before it's too late. But sometimes it is too late. The consequences must always be remembered as law. This is why Stephen and Wong keep messing up, because they think that the natural law is more of a guideline that can be bent whenever it suits them.
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
But if they adopted more of Mordo's mindset, so many things that went wrong could have been avoided. Honestly, this is why I hope the MCU brings Mordo back in the future. The conflicts and stories that Mordo bring are very interesting, and we need that for the future of the MCU. In fact, I think he would be a kick-ass member of the Thunderbolts.
Even if there's another way.
There is no other way.
You lack imagination.
No, Stephen. You lack a spine.
So, do you think Mordo was right? Do you think that Stephen and Wong need to face the consequences for their actions? Let me know in the comments below, or you can @ me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.